the dawning of a new season.
I gotta be out here.
You gotta show him I can lead.
Hey, good day, great day. RJ, now let's go. Starts here, let's go.
Man, we never thought it would get here. Sure, last year had its memorable moments.
He leaps for the end zone. What a move by the rookie!
But that's all in the past now.
Hey, don't skip a beat.
2019, here we are, back together. There's a feeling in the air. We want to restore the legacy, that passion, that sense of family.
Giants on three. 1, 2, 3, Giants.
And what a way to kick it all off. MetLife Stadium, our home, on a hot August night against the other guys in town. We're ready for this journey. Can you feel the pride? It's the return of New York Giants football. Next.
And the New York Giants taking the field at MetLife Stadium to kick off the preseason. It's New York Giants preseason football on NBC4 New York as the Giants take on the Jets. We are live from the New York Presbyterian broadcast booth, a top 5 hospital in the nation. Hello again, everyone. I'm Bob Papa. It has been a headline-making offseason for the New York Giants with the trading of Odell Beckham Jr. and the drafting of Daniel Jones. For the New York Jets, a new head coach in Adam Gase and a lot of spending in the offseason. But one thing these two teams have in common, they needed to rebuild their offensive lines, and they've done so with veteran players. But a lot of Giants fans are excited for the debut of quarterback Daniel Jones, who was selected by the Giants with the 6th overall pick in this year's draft out of Duke. And I'm joined, as always, by 2-time Super Bowl champion Carl Banks. And Carl, not a lot of hitting in training camp in 2019. Tonight, with the first preseason game, you get to hit somebody in a different color.
Yeah, with the way the NFL is run now, there is very little hitting. So this will be the first live drill. And for some of these young players, they haven't hit since college.
Meanwhile, Eli Manning doesn't want to get hit. He's going into his 16th year. And with the drafting of Daniel Jones, Manning is not ready to just give up his job so easily.
Well, he was much maligned last year, and in the offseason, they built the line. But it's worth noting the last 4 games of the season, he had pretty good stats. So let's see if that continues.
The Jets also with a lot of changes this offseason. They got a new head coach. We'll get into that. And we'll also hear from the head coach of the New York Giants, Pat Shurmur, when we return here on NBC4 New York. It's the Giants and Jets. Back at MetLife Stadium, the Giants and Jets getting set to kick off the 2019 preseason. Pat Shurmur going into his 2nd year as head coach of the Giants. Just a moment ago, Bruce Beck had a chance to catch up with the Giants head coach.
Thanks, Bob. 16 days since the Giants reported to training camp. And Coach Pat Shurmur, what do you hope to find out about your football team tonight?
Well, I want these guys to go out and play good football, be tough, competitive, and I'm watching our guys when adversity strikes and we stick together as a team, but there's going to be a lot of young guys playing. They got a chance to make a difference for themselves.
What do you hope to see from Daniel Jones in his debut?
I think it's the same for him as any other position player. Just go out and play good football, execute, kind of get used to this environment. He's done a great job on the practice fields. Now it's time to put it on the game field.
Any extra fuel on the fire tonight because you're playing the Jets?
I think for the fans, but I think right now we're trying to do the very best we can to get better. It's about blocking and tackling, throwing and catching, and running, and so we're going to try to do all that as well as we can.
4 games in 22 days for the Giants. Coach Pat Shurmur, good luck.
All right, thanks, Bruce.
Back to you, Bob.
Well, thank you, Bruce. And the Giants and Jets will play in the regular season. It'll be a Jets home game. So both coaches liking the fact that this game is the first game. And there's Adam Gase, who was fired by Miami after 3 seasons. The Jets hire him. And with all due respect to Ryan Tannehill in Miami, he's got a young stud quarterback in Sam Darnold to work with here.
He's got a great quarterback, and he's got a system that will be beneficial to this quarterback, and they put tools around him.
And there you get a look at Sam Darnold going into his 2nd season. From the sideline, we check in with Howard Cross.
Hey, Bob and Carl, I'm really excited also to see some rookies. The rookies I'm looking for on the defensive side of the ball, Dexter Lawrence, that big guy in the middle, see if he can stuff the run, and also see if he can get some pressure on the quarterback. On the edges, we talked about DeAndre Baker, the great cornerback is going to be starting tonight, get a lot of playing time. Corey Ballantyne's going to get some playing time as well. They'll get a lot of playing time because the starters won't play that much. Last but not least, the X-Man. If we can see the X-Man, it's all I've been hearing about, get some pass rush, it's going to be great.
O'Shane Ximines is the X-Man who the Giants drafted in the 3rd round, and as Coach Shermer told us, hey, before we fit him for a gold jacket, let's go see him make some plays out there.
Yeah, and he's got to make some plays. They brought him in to impact this pass rush, and they need it because they were close to the bottom last season.
Aldrick Rosas, who made the Pro Bowl last year, will kick it off for the New York Giants. And Trenton Cannon is back deep for the Jets, 2nd-year player out of Virginia State. So the 2019 preseason for the Giants and Jets about to get underway here at MetLife Stadium. And Rosas rips this through the back of the end zone for a touchback. He had 51 of those last year. Now Sam Darnold, taken 3rd overall last year out of USC, completed 57% of his passes. Was 4-9 as the starting quarterback, the 2nd most passing yards by a Jets rookie since one Joe Namath. Now they've revamped this offensive line, Carl, and they went out and traded for Kelechi Osemele, the left guard, who's a 2-time Pro Bowler. So they've added some weapons on the offensive line. Ryan Khalil was signed. He's not going to play tonight. Ty Montgomery, the former Green Bay Packer, in the backfield to start the game. Le'Veon Bell not playing. Montgomery gets the handoff. And he gets tackled by Tay Davis. Gain of 4 on the play. So Jonathan Harrison will start at center tonight, but with Beachum, Osemele, when Khalil is ready to go, veteran experience up front. Robbie Anderson can be a big play threat. Quincy Enunwa not in the lineup tonight. 2nd and 6 for the Jets on the opening possession. 180. We were told Enunwa was not going to play, but he was the man in motion. Darnold will throw it, nearly intercepted by Peppers, who undercut the route. Jabril Peppers, acquired in a trade with Cleveland, making a play early.
And that's what they brought him here for, his athleticism. He plays close to the line of scrimmage, but gets out in the flat pretty good and undercuts that throw. They're counting on that type of athleticism from the safety position.
East Orange native from Paramus Catholic High School here in New Jersey makes a play on the first series. So it's 3rd and 6 for the Jets and Sam Darnold.
180.
Giants bring a little pressure. Darnold escapes. He floats it, and he's got a man open downfield. Chris Herndon, the tight end, into Giants territory, and brought down after a gain of 33.
Again, Giants get him in a 3rd and long situation. Quarterback scrambles, and all of a sudden, all eyes go in the backfield, and they turn a guy loose.
That time, Peppers got caught peeking.
Well, actually, it was Julian Love who got caught peeking. There was passed off to him.
So the Jets have a 1st and 10 at the Giants' 39 after the 33-yard pass play to Herndon. Darnold with some time, little check down underneath. Jamison Crowder, the former Redskin, chased out by Davis at about the Giants' 10. So that's a gain of 29 on the play.
Yeah, and what you're seeing here is the next step in the progression from practice to a real game, because everything is controlled. The quarterback doesn't pull the ball down. He doesn't pump fake it, so everybody's where they're supposed to be. But in live action, you tend to lose guys if the communication breaks down.
Crowder spent his first 4 seasons with Washington, a former 4th-round draft pick. 1st and 10 from the Giants' 11.
180.
Darnold with plenty of time. Montgomery with the catch. Tay Davis knocks it down after a gain of 4. Let's take a look at this Giants defense. Dalvin Tomlinson, Dexter Lawrence, the 1st-round draft pick, and B.J. Hill up front. Kareem Martin, Alec Ogletree, Tay Davis, Lorenzo Carter. They're counting on Carter to get a pass rush. And this revamped secondary with only Janoris Jenkins returning. They've added the veteran in Antoine Bethea. 2nd and 5 from the Giants' 6. Opening possession for the Jets. Montgomery picks his way to the 2. Antoine Bethea and Alec Ogletree in on the tackle, and that'll set up a 3rd down for the Jets. Jets playing quick here. They can get a 1st down without a touchdown. Darnold whips it right. Crowder's got it. Touchdown Jets. Beat Julian Love. And the Jets made that look pretty easy.
Yeah, ran a pick play. See, this is what happens, Bob, when chaos is introduced in a controlled environment. So they talk you through in walkthroughs, but there's a pick. Love came behind it, and the receiver was in the end zone. He's got to fight over the top of that on that particular play.
7 plays, 75 yards. Jamison Crowder with the touchdown catch. 2 3rd down conversions. Chandler Catanzaro, signed as a free agent from Carolina, in to kick the extra point. Was with the Jets in 2017. And one thing you never want to do on an extra point is have it delay a game. Jets have Thomas Hennessy as their long snapper.
Delay a game. Offense, it's a 5-yard penalty. We'll have the retry.
Lee Blakeman, veteran official, is our referee this evening. So a 33-yarder becomes a 38-yarder.
Yeah, all the teachable moments that coaches don't know how guys are responding until they get in live game action, and another coaching point.
Catanzaro spent 4 games with Carolina last year, 9 with the Bucks, and he's going to miss that one wide right. But the Jets convert on a pair of 3rd downs, including 3rd and 2. Sam Darnold to Jamison Crowder. Some things to work out for the Big Blue. For New York is brought to you by Kia. Hurry into Kia's summer sales event going on now. Learn more at KiaDealers.com. Lots to discuss on the Giants' defensive side. Coordinator James Betcher watches his team give up 68 yards passing to Sam Darnold. 4 of 5 on the drive, capping off a 75-yard drive. Year number 2, they've brought in a lot of new players, Carl.
Sure.
And there is some communication issues that have to get worked out. Catanzaro to kick it off. Jets up 6-0. Corey Ballantyne, the rookie, muffs the kickoff, so he'll just take it in. The Giants will start at the 25. Here at the Meadowlands, Carl Banks, keys to the game are brought to you by Kia.
Well, the number one question that every single signal caller is asking, what's my line? The Giants revamped their offensive line in hopes of stabilization and giving this quarterback, Eli Manning, a chance. What's the rush? They ranked very low in pass rush last year, so they added players there in hopes to get that up. And then step by step, as you could see, the rookies were struggling on that first drive when the live action started. So the next step is playing in a game like this.
Manning to throw on 1st down, zips it over to his tight end, Scott Simonson from Red Bank, New Jersey. Picks up 3 on the play. Eli Manning in his 16th year out of Ole Miss, a career-high 66% completion rate last year. Threw for almost 4,300 yards. Does not have Saquon Barkley or Evan Ingram in the lineup, as Pat Shurmur told us today. This was the regular season. Obviously, both of those guys would play. Cody Latimer goes in motion. Sterling Shepard still nursing that thumb injury. Gallman, not a lot of room to run, and there's a flag on the play. Henry Anderson got the first hit on Gallman. That's a loss of a yard.
Yeah, and on that particular play, there was no run, no initial room to run there. Gallman had to try to cut back to daylight.
It's going to be a hold against the Giants.
Offense, number 71. That penalty's declined. Brings up 3rd down.
Will Hernandez in his second year gets called for the hold. John Jalapeno back from his injury last year. The Giants traded for Kevin Zeitler and signed Mike Remmers in the offseason to solidify the right side of the offensive line. Leonard Williams and Steve McClendon not playing tonight for the Jets. Jets decline the penalty, so it'll be 3rd and 8. Draw play to Gallman, and the Jets have it red. Picks up 2, Brandon Copeland on the tackle, and well, you know it's New York. The Boo Birds are out in the first preseason game of the year.
Yeah, they are. And here's the thing that you have to keep in mind. This is not about game planning. They're just keeping it as vanilla, and they want to keep it looking like football, Bob, but they play this team later on in the year, and they don't want to leave any crumbs on the table. So they want more execution than they want game plan and scheme.
Riley Dixon into punt for the Giants. Averaged 45 yards a punt last year. Rookie Greg Dortch to return. Flag on the play as Dortch makes one man miss and then gets wrestled down by Michael Thomas. 39-yard punt, 10-yard return. We'll keep it right here and check on the flag. So not the start the Giants were looking for, both defensively and offensively.
Holding, deceiving team number 34. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down.
Veteran corner Brian Poole right there, number 34, gets called for the hold. Jets back on offense, up 6-0. Giants preseason football on NBC4 New York is brought to you by Toyota. The national clearance event is going on now. Toyota, let's go places. Saquon Barkley not playing tonight as we take a look at the Toyota player comparison. Saquon Barkley drafted 2nd overall, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Sam Darnold learned under fire last year as the 3rd overall pick, but got valuable reps. Darnold's night is done after just 1 series. He took the team down for a touchdown, so Trevor Siemian, the former Denver Bronco, is in. Brian Winters, the starting right guard for the Jets, walked off under his own power, but to the locker room. And Elijah McGuire gets the first handoff, and Dalvin Tomlinson gets a hit on him. No gain on the play.
You got Dexter Lawrence in the middle there clogging it up, but he's drawing a lot of double teams there. He gets washed down. That's his baptism into the NFL because he dominated double teams when he was in college.
Carl, you know, you talk about little things too, right? On the first possession, Jabril Peppers had an interception go through his hands. Could have been a whole different complexion on that first
Well, and that's
series.
what good defense have to capitalize on, those types of opportunities.
Siemian throws it underneath, completes it to Deontay Burnett, and immediately swarmed under by Jabril Peppers and Alec Ogletree. It's a gain of 2 on the play.
A dropped interception by an athletic safety can lead to points for the other team. You got to be able to make those. He's a playmaker too, Jabril Peppers, so he's got to be able to make those types of plays when they dial him up for him.
Giants didn't get much pressure on that opening series against the Jets. Let's see if they can get some here on a 3rd and 8. Elijah McGuire, the tailback, Siemian, the quarterback. As time, throws it underneath. Once again, it's Burnett, and the Giants chase him down. Tay Davis in pursuit with Ogletree, gain of 2. So the Jets go 3 and out and have to punt the football away. Giants head coach Pat Shurmur told us earlier today, Carl, that some of the guys on defense are on a short leash, like Alec Ogletree, who's changed his number to 47 from 52. Said I could finish all I needed to do at 52. He's got spiritual reasons behind the 4 and the 7. So he's making a little switch. I don't know, after 5 picks last year, he might have kept that number. 2 returned for touchdowns. TJ Jones on the return and gets tripped up. 53-yard punt, but no return on the play. Nice play by the Jets there. Preseason football on NBC4 New York is brought to you by Pepsi, the official soft drink of the Giants. And introducing the official Giants checking account, only from Investors Bank. Get the checking account that lets you score big. Daniel Jones, who the Giants selected with the 6th overall pick in this year's draft, out of Duke. in at quarterback for the Giants. The starting offensive line remains in. Jets with a 6-0 lead here in the first quarter. Jones completes his first pass. Cody Latimer. That's a gain of a couple on the play. Carl, what about Daniel Jones and what you've seen so far in training camp?
Well, he's been fundamentally sound in training camp, and they're looking for him to transfer that over into a game situation. But keep in mind, he's a work in progress, so you want to look more mechanics than actual moving the team up and down the field. At this stage, it's a plus.
Jets have subbed out their defense while the Giants' starting offensive line remains in. 2nd and 5, Gallman the tailback. Gallman got the first down and more. Out to the 35, nice block up front. Let's welcome in two-time Super Bowl champion David Deal. I got 4 rings by my side here in the broadcast booth. 2 for Carl, 2 for David. Let's talk about this offensive line, David, your area of expertise and the veterans that the Giants have brought in on the right side to shore things up.
Well, you just saw that previous run, the combination block between the center and Jalapeno and the right guard. Zeitler getting up to the second level, and Remmers moving that defensive end, because if you want to run behind tackle, it's crucial to move the DN.
Jones, 2 for 2 as he's able to hit Golden Tate for 10 yards on the play.
But there's a great timing route thrown there. He pulls it out, hits him right in stride.
You know, Daniel Jones has been impressive throwing the football, David and Carl, so far in training camp.
I love what they're doing. Think about the opening drive, moving the launch point with Eli Manning, going play action off of it, have a nice successful run. Now all of a sudden you go back to that play action, you get those linebackers to step up, and you get the look you want offensively.
Eli Penny in as the fullback on a 1st and 10. Jones downfield, Latimer's got it, keeps his feet inside the 25, and finally brought down at the 23. Good protection up front.
Yeah, the offensive line was incredible there. A little play action pass, but there was 0 penetration. Very good route run by Latimer, but clean pocket and plenty of time there.
Look at, based off of that run, watch the linebackers and the safeties jump up because they have to honor it and respect it. That allows Latimer to get behind and come up with a big catch.
Yeah, you give up a 12-yard run, those linebackers and safeties become a little bit anxious.
Daniel Jones has hit his first 3. 1st and 10 for the Jets, 23. Gallman again with some room, tripped up as he gets to the 18-yard line. Well, there's a lot of controversy with the drafting of Daniel Jones. Saquon Barkley has enjoyed what he's seen so far. Phil Simms, who came out and watched practice a couple times, said, hey, it's a perfect fit. Sean O'Hara likes what he's seen as far as what he brings to the table. Gallman is not Saquon Barkley on that play, and he's going to lose 2.
Yeah, it's so interesting. For those who know football, they all see the things that justified the pick. For those who don't know football, it was a bad pick. He didn't have arm strength. They found everything wrong with him. But as time's gone on, the geniuses that were against it all had erasers. Now they have so many positive things to say. He's a rookie. He's going to play like a rookie. But to crucify the pick and not know what you don't know makes you look crazy. But again, we're in an era where geniuses do get erasers.
Money down, 3rd and 7 for the Jets, 20, with the Jets up 6-0 here in the first. Jones pretty decisive right there and completes his 4th straight pass. Benny Fowler with the catch for 8.
And here's the thing about, look at the ball placement. He's throwing an out route. The ball is outside of the receiver. He turns and the ball is there. It's not inside. It's nowhere where the cornerback can make a play on it.
You love the pocket that this offensive line is creating. Once you get the run game going, it allows you so much flexibility when you have a play action like they just had. Everybody coming off the same way. They don't know if it's run or pass.
Now, I'm going to tell you, this could be a draw because they're killing him with the pass now. Let's see.
Jets brought 6 on that last play. Jones again with time. Corner of the end zone. Completes it. Did Fowler get his feet in? Yes. Touchdown, Giants.
Ball placement. Make a note of it, folks. This kid is putting the ball where only his receiver can get it. Outside throws, those are tough ones.
And every offensive lineman after that touchdown throw just gave Daniel Jones a big hug.
There it lies. Knows exactly where he wants to go with the ball, throws it on time, but look at the placement of the ball to his outside arm.
Daniel Jones in his first snaps in the NFL, 5 for 5, 67 yards and a touchdown, completing a 79-yard drive, and the Giants and Jets are tied at 6 here in the first. Rosas for the extra point, and he knocks it through. Well, the Giants loving it. Sterling Shepard says, let's ride that bad boy. Get me in the game. Saquon says, nice job, Rook. Giants preseason football on NBC4 New York is driven by the Hess Toy Truck. The 2019 holiday Hess Toy Truck goes on sale November the 1st, exclusively at HessToyTruck.com. Here at MetLife Stadium, Daniel Jones, impressive opening drive. Earl Banks got the eyeglasses on him.
Yeah, I tell you, they have a really good performance by that offensive line.
Cannon from the 5. Tackled at the 16-yard line. Giants fans, feel the pride. Experience the excitement of New York Giants football. Limited season tickets still available. Call 888-NYG-1925 or go to Giants.com for more information. Sam Darnold got the start for the Jets here tonight. Took his team down the field through a touchdown pass to Jamison Crowder, 1 series. Eli Manning got the start for the Giants. They went 3 and out. Trevor Siemian in for his 2nd series. Siemian 13-11 as a starting quarterback with the Denver Broncos, former 7th-round draft pick. Cannon the tailback. Siemian to throw on first down. That's Eric Tomlinson, the tight end, in the left flat for a gain of 2. Janoris Jenkins there on the coverage. Well, it's a beautiful day in the New York metropolitan area, but some ominous-looking clouds. We had a hellacious storm last night, and there are some threatening clouds looming. Cannon hit behind the line and dropped. Tay Davis all over it. It's going to be a loss of 3.
Yeah, and that's a good job by Dexter Lawrence up top, absorbing the double team and making a clean path for Davis to get in there. Lawrence just eats everyone up, and Davis just cleans around the corner.
Tay Davis is someone that has really caught this coaching staff's eye last year, their first year here, and now in year number 2. 3rd and 11. They run the draw to Cannon. Slips and falls short of the first down. Michael Thomas there to get him to the ground. You know, with the wind starting to whip, the warm temperatures, you just know a storm is coming.
You can see the clouds moving in.
This year on the PGA Tour Champions, I work with Golf Channel, we had an unprecedented amount of rain delays and storms. And it's almost like, am I the bad luck charm here? I've had more Monday finishes than they've had in the last 12 years. But some heavy storms are looming over East Rutherford right now. But Giants fans are smiling with the performance of Daniel Jones on the opening series. He went 5 for 5 with a touchdown pass. T.J. Jones to receive this punt. Picks it up off one hop. And the former Lion trying to reverse his field, and the Jets rally to the ball and get him down at the 19-yard line. Doug Middleton.
Giants fans enter the Giants Fantennial Weekend Sweepstakes for a chance to win a VIP experience to the Giants home opener against the Buffalo Bills on September 15th. The experience includes 2 mezzanine club tickets, 2 pregame field passes, 1 VIP parking pass, and a $100 MetLife Stadium gift card. Visit Giants.com/fantix to enter, and for all sweepstakes rules and details. That's Giants.com/FANTIX. You must be 18 or older to enter.
Well, the game is being suspended here at MetLife Stadium because of thunder and lightning. So not only for the safety of the players and obviously all the coaches and the officials, but all the fans in the stadium.
Yeah, they're sending everyone into the corridors.
So we are going to have a weather delay here at MetLife Stadium. It has not started raining just yet, but they want to make sure everybody is off the field and make sure that all the fans get to the concourse level so that they can get out of harm's way. So we got a little weather delay here at MetLife Stadium with the Giants in front of the Jets by a score of 7-6. Sam Darnold, opening drive touchdown pass to Jamison Crowder. And then in his first series with the New York Giants, Daniel Jones leads the Giants to a touchdown catch. So the fans making their way into the corridors. Bob Papa along with David Deal and Carl Banks here in the booth at MetLife Stadium. And Carl, I'll start with you. The Giants defense, that's an area that they have to improve. If you go back to 2015, the Giants have lost an NFL high 18 games when they've had the lead with 2 minutes or less, which means they're not stopping people when it matters most. What do they have to work on in order to be more effective defensively?
Well, I think the numbers speak for themselves. They didn't have a very good pass rush. They only had 30 sacks on the season. Most playoff teams, with the exception of the New England Patriots, were in the 40s or higher when it comes to sacks. And they were down there at the bottom again on third downs. They couldn't get off the field on third down. So you correct those two, and you'll see a better defense. And they are connected. A pass rush and the ability to get off the field on third down are directly connected with each other.
And David, that's one of the big question marks with this Giants team going into 2019. They drafted Daniel Jones, passed on some pass rushers. Who will rush the quarterback? I know they're counting on a couple guys, but can they get it done this year?
Well, obviously, they're looking for Lorenzo Carter to take that next step in his second year. Came back bigger, came back stronger, and understands it's not just about getting after the quarterback. It's about stopping the run as well. Adding in X-Men, adding in Marcus Golden. And when you think about those three, but all over James Bettcher's system, it's a sum of the whole, not just an individual part. So you're going to see blitzes, you're going to see pressures that are going to create those one-on-ones that they're hoping can create that pressure and, more importantly, getting the quarterback off of his spot.
It's great you just said that, because they may not have a 12 or 13 sack guy, but they can end up 3 and 4 sacks a game by committee, because that's the way this defensive scheme is set up.
Daniel Jones got off to a great start. His first drive in the NFL, he comes out and he hits on every pass. First of all, really good protection. But you talk about the ball placement, Carl. He was very decisive. And on that throw right there to Benny Fowler, I mean, just putting it in the perfect spot, and even on the touchdown pass.
Well, and when you look at quarterbacks, you can talk a lot about big arms, but accuracy is what's most important for a quarterback at any level in the NFL. If you can have great ball placement, you're going to have great success.
Yeah, and I mean, Daniel Jones' numbers at Duke are what they are, but he never played with an offensive player that got drafted in the NFL, and they led college football last year in drop passes at Duke, so it's a whole different level. Now, look, this is the first preseason game. The Jets had some of their starters out at that point.
No blitzing.
But you have to take a look, David, at sort of the command and the calm that he showed. He never looked flustered out there.
No question. Getting people in and out of the huddle. Alignment, assignment, communicating to all 10 other guys in the field and in the huddle. But more importantly, watching this offensive line develop in front of you with Daniel Jones out there. We saw them all celebrate with him after he threw that touchdown pass. But when you see the offensive line moving in unison in the run game, in the play-action passing game like we saw today, these reps are invaluable to these guys, and it's only going to make them better and better.
And it's the cause and effect that you mentioned. If you run the ball well, guess what? You're going to have some throwing lanes now. The quarterback has to get the ball there. And when you're throwing the ball well, you're going to have some running lanes. So great job in executing the offense by the O-line.
Let's talk a little bit about what we saw out of the Jets as you see those ominous clouds over MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford. You know, Adam Gase, 3 years in Miami, did not have a winning record. But he is a guy that Peyton Manning just loved working with when Peyton Manning first went to Denver. And now he's got a second-year quarterback in Sam Darnold, who went through the lumps last year. And you already saw the effects of having a guy like Jamison Crowder on the field, and Le'Veon Bell didn't even play. There's a lot to like if you're a Jets fan with what you see out of Sam Darnold.
No question, because you see a quarterback that has his first year under his belt, has received the highs and lows of what it's like to play in the NFL. But more importantly, unlike Peyton Manning, you're talking about a quarterback that can force a defense to play 11-on-11 football.
Sure.
You start running those zone reads. You start holding the backside defensive end and the will linebacker. Now all of a sudden you get Le'Veon Bell, that crease. That's usually a 2-yard run. Now you're looking at a 6 to 7 yard one that you're going to break in the third and fourth quarter.
Yeah, and the addition of Bell and Crowder will dramatically improve this quarterback's percentage, which was way down there on first and second down. He was really good on third down, but first and second downs, he wasn't as good. Now, having a guy like Bell who can catch on first down, Crowder who can work in short spaces and get separation, that's going to make him an even more dangerous quarterback.
Not to mention they added a Pro Bowl left guard and a Pro Bowl center, so they upgraded their offensive line as well. But Giants fans excited to see what Daniel Jones can do, and he was impressive as he went 5 for 5, leading the Giants to a touchdown. They have the lead. We're in a weather delay. Back at MetLife Stadium, fans, take your position. About 1 hour ago, they cleared the field because of thunderstorms here in East Rutherford, New Jersey, as the Giants and Jets game was suspended in the first quarter. Bob Papa along with Carl Banks back at MetLife Stadium, but they're expected to start the game up right around 8:38 and get the players back on the field and get going with this preseason game. But Carl, a lot to be excited about if you're a Giants fan watching Daniel Jones play.
Well, it was, but it's all in context, though, Bob. You know, there was not a lot of pressure, but he did the things he was asked to do, and that's important. And if you want to know if he has the skill set to play at this level, you look at his ball placement. It's a prerequisite for success. Not saying that I'm predicting success, but a quarterback can put the ball where it's supposed to be. He's got a chance to have some success in the league.
And on the other side of the ball, the Jets starting offense on the opening series, Sam Darnold was outstanding, driving his team 75
Absolutely.
yards, hit a couple third downs, used his feet and his mobility inside the pocket to create some space, hit the open man, threw a touchdown pass to Jamison Crowder, and was nearly perfect on that opening drive.
And the thing about Darnold is when he moves with his eyes down the field. So all of his plays they were not panic plays. He just did what he had to do to find some room for himself and made plays.
In his second year with his new head coach, Adam Gase, we're going to resume play with the Giants starting 1st and 10 at their own 19. Alex Tanney, fourth-year veteran out of Monmouth, Illinois, in at quarterback. Is DePaul Perkins will set the Giants' offensive line for you because they've changed everybody. We talked during the rain delay about Nick Gates. He was on injured reserve all of last year. He wears number 65. He's going to get a turn at left tackle. And the Giants are very interested in seeing what he can bring to the table. Got some reps this week in practice, but the Giants are intrigued by the possibilities there. Evan Brown is in at left guard. Spencer Pulley is in at center for the Giants. Victor Salako is the right guard. Tanney completes it to Penny. He's got a first down, upended at about the 34-yard line. And the Giants have Chad Slade at the right tackle position. So Penny, little bubble screen, and he'll make something.
Here's the thing about Penny. He's trying to show that he can do more than just block. Got him split out there, catching wide receiver plays.
Giants really like Alex Tanney. He's been around. He's been with 9 different organizations. Paul Perkins doesn't get anything. He got cut down right out of the gate. Frankie Louvu of the Jets with a nice tackle and a 1. No playing for Saquon Barkley tonight. Daniel Jones with a touchdown pass. Giants up 7-6. Giants preseason football on NBC4 New York is brought to you by Bob's Discount Furniture. It's not discount furniture. It's stylish, quality furniture at a discount. Bob's Discount. Take a look at tonight's first quarter stats brought to you by Bob's Discount Furniture. Passing yards about equal. Giants a little bit better rushing the football. Giants with 6 first downs. Jets hit both of those third down conversions en route to their only touchdown. A Sam Darnold pass to Jamison Crowder to give the Jets a 6-0 lead. We start the second. Alex Tanney, the quarterback for the Giants. Gonna throw the deep ball and oversails Alonzo Russell, someone that Giants head coach Pat Shurmur talked about in our meeting today that has shown flashes. Alonzo Russell, a practice squad player with the Giants last year.
Yeah, he's a guy that they want to see if he can make a contribution. But also on that particular play, the Jets brought a blitz, and Paul Perkins, a guy who was trying to prove to this coaching staff that he belongs in the running back final rotation, had a very nice blitz pickup.
Paul Perkins, a 5th-round pick out of UCLA in 2016, missed all of last season with injury. Tanney on a 3rd and long, middle of the field. He's got the first down as he hooks up with T.J. Jones. Jones was signed during camp. He's had some time with the Lions.
Once again, good protection there. Linebacker froze the intermediate coverage and allowed something to come into the second window.
T.J. Jones started 3 of 15, played his college football at Notre Dame. So the Giants convert to 3rd and 10. He's a guy that can give the Giants something in the return game. Perkins picks up a couple. Paul Perkins in 2016, Carl, ran for 456 yards. Had 162 yards receiving. 2017, not utilized as much in 11 games, and then suffered the injury during a workout. Missed all of last season. But Pat Shurmur said, I got to know him personally and got to really know what he was all about last year because he was in every single meeting.
He's a very versatile player. Look at that slant route.
And that is Russell Shepard taking it to the house. Touchdown Giants, 51 yards.
Tanney throws a rope on that slant route.
You know, Pat Shurmur and the Giants have talked about with the trade of Odell Beckham Jr., guys like Cody Latimer, Russell Shepard were here last year. They averaged 28 points a game in those last 4.
Yeah, and you're not talking about replacing a talent of Odell Beckham, but you hope to replace is the production with the rest of the receiving crew, getting the ball distribution throughout the receiving corps.
Harry Nickerson of the Jets, second-year player out of Tulane, missed the tackle, and Shepard was off and running. So the Giants have pushed the lead to 13-6. Rojas' extra point is good. Daniel Jones has a touchdown pass. Now Alex Tanney firing a bullet to Russell Shepard, the 7th-year pro out of LSU, does the rest. Giants in front, 14-6 here in the second. Let's take a look at the touchdown pass, Tanney to Russell Shepard.
You got a blitz. It's a timing route all the way, and Alex Tanney hits it right on time. I mean, that's why you have a veteran on your roster like that who can see those types of things and not let it disrupt the play's timing.
Russell Shepard had a 49-yard touchdown catch late in the year last year. Quality veteran in his 7th year out of LSU, and one of the nicest guys. Last year at the end of the year when the season was over, he started handing out gift cards throughout the facility, just thanking everybody for what they did for him during the year. Well, Thursday night, September the 5th, 100th season of the NFL. Storied rivalry. It's the Packers and Bears. Then the defending Super Bowl champion Patriots host the Pittsburgh Steelers on the premiere of Sunday Night Football, only on NBC. I love it with the 100th anniversary of the NFL and the league going with the traditional rivalry. And the Patriots are so used to having the Thursday night kickoff. If there was one team that you figured would say, all right, fine, we'll take Sunday night, it would be New England.
Yeah, exactly. Gives them extra time to prepare.
Jets will start from the 25. Simeon on the handoff to Elijah McGuire. And he picks up a couple. Ryan Connolly, rookie 5th-round pick out of Wisconsin, makes the tackle. Kareem Martin remains in the ball game. Giants have subbed out a lot of their personnel. Chris Slayton in. He's a rookie, free agent out of Syracuse. 6'4", 316 pounds. 2nd and 8. Simeon will throw. No pressure. Lobs it. And a nice throw by Simeon. He gets the first down as he's able to hook up with Josh Bellamy. fifth-year pro out of Louisville, signed as a free agent from the Bears. Gain of 16.
Yeah, Julian Love playing a trail route is there. And here's the one thing, he could probably get that, but the one thing that you hear from personnel folks is that he's got great spatial awareness, but he's a one-gear guy. That's why he's probably going to be better suited for a nickel or a safety position, because his makeup speed is not there that corners need.
Nowhere to run for McGuire there. Michael Thomas came up from his safety spot to make the hit. Gain of only a yard on the play. Michael Thomas, sixth year out of Stanford, the Giants representative for the Walter Payton Man of the Year award last year. Does tremendous work in the Houston area as well here as in the New York metropolitan area.
High character guy.
McGuire turns the corner, and they get shouldered down on the play by Corey Ballantyne, the rookie sixth-round pick out of Washburn. What a story. What a high and what a low for him. Day after being drafted by the Giants, a shooting outside of the dorm. His best friend, Dwayne Simmons' teammate, passed away. Coach Shermer talked about Corey Ballantyne and the mental toughness that he's shown just to get back out here and compete.
Yeah, considering everything he went through and then just had to show up at camp and be ready to go, and he's done nothing short of work hard and impress these coaches.
On a 3rd and 7, Simeon tries the deep ball. Pretty good coverage there by DeAndre Baker, the Giants rookie first-round draft pick. But there is a flag on the play. Josh Bellamy running the go route.
Yeah, well, these are the type of plays that they're going to test
Pass
out.
interference, defense, number 36, ball is placed at the spot of foul, first down, Jets.
The pass interference is the one call that can now be reviewed, right?
Certainly can. It was on Sean Chandler, though. It wasn't on DeAndre Baker.
27 was a penalty.
Oh, now we're hearing it is a penalty on DeAndre Baker.
Boy, the one thing about DeAndre Baker, he is committed to his technique and his fundamentals. If he's got inside technique, you're not getting in there at all. Very aggressive corner.
26-yard penalty. And a big hit behind the line as Cannon took the handoff, and Chris Slayton got the first whack on him.
Here it is, right here in the middle. Watch the explosion right over the center. He comes through and just engulfs the running back.
Obviously, both teams going deep into the depth chart here after the rain delay.
Sure.
Jets have their second line in there as well.
But what coaches are looking for are good technique plays. Are you defeating your man? Are you using the techniques that we're coaching? Because we're not going to screen. We're not going to scheme a lot.
On a 2nd and 12, pass completed for a gain of 4.
And good pressure here off the edge by the rookie Jimenez. Just bull rushes this guy in there. Coming off the other side is Martin.
Yeah, Kareem Martin got his shoulder in there. Did not hit Trevor Siemian in the head. Kareem Martin started 7 games for the Giants last year. 3rd and 8 from the Giants 26. Cannon, the running back. Simeon to throw. Chase flips it, completes it for the first down to Bellamy.
Oh, they got him marked short? Oh, no, they're moving to 6.
Trevor Siemian in his career with Denver in 3 years, 60 rushes for 183 yards, and shows his mobility. And a nice throw on the run there, and Bellamy, the veteran receiver, finding the open spot. First and 10 at the Giants 16. Here in the second after a 1-hour weather delay. Cannon picks up about 2. Ryan Connolly got in on the hit. R.J. McIntosh, drafted in the 5th round last year, also in on the hit.
And Ryan Connolly is a guy who's very active linebacker in the Big Ten last year. And in practice here in training camp, he's been all over the field. Sometimes he gets washed, caught up in the wash, but boy, he really pursues the football.
2nd and 8 from the Giants 15. Simeon feels some pressure, escapes, slides to safety at about the 10. Gain of 5 on the play. Shane Zimenez got some pressure. Jets have John Toth, first-year player out of Kentucky, in at center. Adam Gase called the plays for the Jets in his first year as head coach. Peyton Manning with effusive praise for what Gase brought to the table when Peyton wound up in Denver. 3rd and 4 for the Jets from the Giants 10. Simeon throws it underneath, but short of the first down. As Deontay Burnett, as the Giants rallied to the football.
And it looks like Connolly was the first guy to get in there and got cleaned up right after that. Connolly closing there in coverage. You can see he's a high motor guy.
Slowed him up just enough. Hey, it's preseason. It's game number 1. Why not go for it? 4th and 1 at the Giants 7 for the Jets. McGuire, the tailback, as Simeon goes to the shotgun set. He's got McGuire wide open for the touchdown.
Well, the entire left side of the Giants' defensive backfield was all sucked into the middle of the field. No one was in the flat. You'll see everything gets washed over here. The back comes out here to the flat. Nobody's there.
So, Carl, in your mind's eye, as a defensive player, who should have been there?
Well, whoever had the back in coverage, because it was a man coverage, and it was probably a rush cover option by the outside guy, and he turned him loose.
Excellent play call by Adam Gase. Now flanking the Giants, and Chandler Catanzaro misses his 2nd extra point. One was from 38. This one from 33. Elijah McGuire with the touchdown catch here in the 2nd. Giants in front by 2.
Giants preseason football on NBC4 New York is brought to you by Taco Bell. Giants game time is Taco Bell time. Feel your Big Blue passion with a Giants Party Pack meal along with your 2019 Schedule Cup at Taco Bell today. And by MetLife, the official insurance company of the New York Giants.
Chandler Catanzaro has missed 2 extra points, which is why the Giants have a 14-12 lead here in the 2nd quarter. He'll kick it off to Corey Ballantyne. And Ballantyne's going to run it out. The rookie out of Washburn, across the 20, across the 30, tripped up at the 34. In college, he averaged 24 yards a return. Carly, take a look at Chandler Catanzaro. He missed a 38-yard extra point after the Jets got called for a delay of game in the 1st quarter. Missed that wide right. Now remember, last year the Jets had Jason Myers. He wound up signing a $15 million contract with Seattle. The Jets didn't want to get involved in a big number with the kicker. And, you know, when you think about the Jets' chances this year in the AFC and maybe being a potential wild card team with the quality that they have, is that going to turn out to be a problem situation for them?
Well, I'm sure that starting tomorrow, there will be about 2 or 3 more kickers in camp, because if he's the only guy there and he's missing extra points, they're not going to put their fortunes into the foot of someone that's going to be inconsistent. You've got to have a high percentage there.
He was with the Jets in 2017. Last year he split time with Carolina and Tampa. And then when the Myers contract situation went the way it went, Myers wound up signing, because Myers was a Pro Bowler last year.
Yes.
Made the Pro Bowl last year. Giants were called for a hold on that last run play. So that's something to keep your eye on. Tanny remains in. The Giants have Rod Smith, the former Dallas Cowboy, in at running back. Little go screen right now to TJ Jones, but the Jets all over it. And then Terrell Basham with the tackle. Third-year player out of Ohio. Terrell Basham started one game last year for the Jets, picked up off waivers from Indianapolis last year.
The one thing that you hear constantly out of the Jets camp is that Greg Williams has his guys playing with a sense of urgency all the way across the board. He thought he raised the tempo of how they play.
2nd and 17. Shepard with the catch. Nudged out of bounds by Nickerson at the 34. Giants will have a third down coming up. Sideline report brought to you by the New York Lottery. Get out there and play. Here's Howard Cross.
Guys, you know, the Giants are doing such a good job looking at the offense. You see Daniel Jones. The thing that was so exciting about it, he was getting quick reads. Like he could see where the open guy was and throwing the ball before the guy could anticipate it. That's something you need a young quarterback to do, to know where to go with the ball right off the bat. It was very impressive.
Yeah, and these are all steps in the progression of a young quarterback, the making of a starting quarterback.
65.
You have to see signs that they're
Still
picking
third
up on the teaching, or that they bring something to the table already. And you could see, again, I'll keep harping on the ball placement because it's very important, but also his recognition of routes and things of that nature. So I think this is a good start for him. Obviously, he was not under duress. It's pretty vanilla both sides, but he's doing the things that he's asked to do within the constructs of this game.
Tough sequence for Nick Gates, the left tackle, a holding penalty, and now a false start. Tanny gets hit as he throws, and the pass incomplete. Jets pick it up. There's no whistle. The Jets are running it in. Nickerson takes it in. No signal. Never heard a whistle, and that's being ruled a touchdown.
Yeah, and all the officials are just looking at each other. I think they saw the quarterback fall down and didn't see the ball come forward.
Bronson Kafusi
take a look.
Came in and got the hit on Tanny.
It's going to be ruled a pass. But, you know, that's good for their defense. Play through the whistle. Don't hear a whistle, keep playing.
Kafusi comes in. It certainly looks like Alex Tanny threw the football and then it hit the ground.
On the field, the quarterback fumbled the ball, recovered by the defense for a touchdown. This play is under review.
Certainly look like the arm was coming forward. Yeah. And he was throwing a pass, and as he got hit, the ball just went into the ground. We'll take a look at it here. Kafusi got the hit. It's being ruled a touchdown on the field. It'll be reviewed. Well, Alex Tanny's right elbow was hit by Bronson Kafusi. It was ruled a fumble on the field and returned by Parry Nickerson for a touchdown. It has been reviewed, and it has been ruled an incomplete pass. You can see the arm is coming forward. His elbow got hit. But, Carl, it's preseason for the officials, too.
Yeah, exactly. They're working out the kinks as well.
So take the touchdown off the board. But the Giants got themselves in a bad situation because of a couple of penalties, a holding penalty and a false start, put them in bad down and distance. Dixon gets the punt away. It's a short punt, though. And Dorsch with a nice return of 11 yards after a 38-yard punt. Tune in to MSG Network, the TV home of the Giants, all season long for a weekly lineup. Giants programming. Giants postgame live premieres September the 8th following the Giants against the Cowboys. Giants Chronicles. We'll look at the history of the New York Giants, and of course we'll get you set for the Giants and Cowboys with Giants First and 10 presented by Stop and Shop, which premieres on the 6th of September. Jets with good field position. They'll start at their own 43-yard line. Trailing by 2. A game that was delayed 1 hour because of thunder and lightning here in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Simeon to Deontay Thompson. Bellamy missed the tackle and Thompson made him pay. Gain of 12 on the play. Deontay Thompson, a 7th-year pro out of Florida, broke in with the Ravens as a free agent in 2012. Spent time with Buffalo and Dallas last year. He's been with Baltimore, Chicago, and Dallas.
Yeah. Valentine had him squared up and no help came and he missed the tackle on that one.
Little wide receiver screen this time. And the ball comes out as Dorsch took a hit, but the Jets pounce on it. Jonathan Anderson knocked the ball out, but it was recovered by the Jets. Chuma Edoga on the recovery. The rookie out of USC, third-round draft pick.
Good tackle there by Julian Love.
2nd and 6 for the Jets at the Giants 41. Cannon gets the handoff, shakes one tackle, and there's a flag on the play. And right about where Nate Stuper was trying to make the tackle, he might have been held.
Holding. Offense. Number 64. It's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot.
The center, John Toth, called for the penalty.
You've got, watch Ryan Connolly just explode into the ball carrier. That's him there. The rookie Connolly, he knows how to find the football.
They said it was Nate Stuper, was actually Ryan Connolly, the rookie out of Wisconsin. So it'll be 2nd and 16. Back at the Jets 49. And a little motion up front. Did Kareem Martin jump early? Or was it Eric Smith who moved on the offensive line?
False start. Offense. Number 65. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Adam Gase in his first year as head coach of the New York Jets, and he gets a ringing endorsement when it comes from Peyton Manning. I'm pulling for Adam. I think he can do a lot of good for Sam Darnold. He helped me a lot, so I can relate to what Sam is going through and learning quite a bit.
It's a great endorsement.
2nd and 21. Simeon for Cannon. Nice job by Connolly to get a hand on him and limit the gain to 6.
Connolly's had his hands in a lot of plays here. He's all over the field. That's the one thing about him. He is an active, high-energy linebacker.
Started 26 of 52 games at Wisconsin. 246 career tackles.
Yeah, run and pass. He's been active today.
Let's see if the Giants can get a little pass rush here on a 3rd and 15 from midfield. 3 minutes to go here in the 2nd. Giants by 2. Simeon under some pressure, and he just floats it away and incomplete.
It's Marcus Golden there on the in tackle twist coming on the inside.
Actually, Keon Adams, Carl.
Oh, is that Keon Adams?
Out of Western Michigan. Part of the Steelers practice squad last year, a 7th round draft pick of the Steelers in 2017.
Good execution by he in the tackle or the end.
So the Jets will have to punt. Lachlan Edwards in his 4th year out of Sam Houston State by way of Australia in to boot it. Reverse spin boot. TJ Jones signals a fair catch at the 12-yard line, and that's where the Giants will start the drive after a 38-yard punt. Out of Town Scores brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com to see how much you could save. Panthers and Bears scoreless in the 1st. Bills with a 7-0 lead over the Colts. Bills made a lot of nice moves this offseason. Falcons playing their 2nd preseason game. They were in the Hall of Fame game. Lead the Dolphins by a score of 6-3. Here are the Giants with a 14-12 lead. Alex Tanney will remain in at quarterback. Giants have brought in wide receiver Reggie White Jr. out of Monmouth. Tanney to Perkins. Not a lot of room for Perkins to run. He got hit hard and fumbled the football, and the Jets recover it. Neville Hewitt recovered it. I think it was Blake Cashman, the 5th round draft pick out of Minnesota, who forced the fumble.
Yeah, he gets the ball and gets picked up from behind, and they punch it right out. Got to keep it close to the body when you're twisting and turning, but it came out, and it's good hustle.
Frankie Louvu, number 50, came flying in from the backside and actually knocked the ball out.
Yeah, Louvu was rushing the passer, turned in pursuit. Got his hand on the ball there.
You know, Pat Shurmur said, look, we got these running backs. We had Wayne Gallman here last year. I want to see if anybody else here can challenge Wayne Gallman for the backup job. I also want to see out of Wayne Gallman if he's good enough to beat out the other guys. But that is not the way you want to do it if you're Paul Perkins.
No, you don't want to have a fumble or a turnover in crucial situations.
McGuire gets hit, gets a yard, that's it.
In the backfield again was Connolly.
Paul Perkins missed all of last year because of an injury with a fumble here in the second quarter. We'll take it to the 2-minute warning. We had a 1-hour rain delay. Oh, we've seen some good play out of some of the quarterbacks. Giants by 2. Preseason football on NBC4 New York is driven by the Hess Toy Truck. The 2019 holiday Hess Toy Truck goes on sale November the 1st exclusively at HessToyTruck.com. Eli Manning got 1 series, and that was it. Then gave way to Daniel Jones. Eli embarking upon his 16th season with the New York Giants, the most any players ever played with the Big Blue. 2nd and 9 at the Giants 15 after the Perkins fumble. Simeon to throw. Corner of the end zone, overshoots his intended receiver. Sean Chandler on the coverage as we send it down to Bruce Beck.
What a debut by Daniel Jones. 5 for 5, 67 yards and a touchdown. Could you have drawn it up any better, my friend?
It went well. Good start for us. Couple things that I could have gotten cleared up, would have made it a little easier on us, but it went well. Thought we did a good job moving the ball down the field.
How nice was it just to get out there and get your feet wet?
Yeah, it was a good feeling just to be in the stadium, wearing a uniform, playing the first game. So it was good to kind of see what we've been doing in practice, kind of come out here and put it to work a little bit.
How have you been able to block out the noise, the positive and the negative, throughout this first training camp?
Just don't focus on it a whole lot. I've got plenty on my plate with the playbook, everything I'm trying to learn, here in the building and on the field. So I got plenty to do other than focus on that stuff.
You've run for 17 touchdowns during your college career. Would you like to have had an opportunity tonight to show your feet?
Yeah, when it's available, I certainly enjoy running the ball, but wasn't in the plan tonight. We'll see going forward.
Finally, what's it been like working with Eli in the quarterback room?
It's been awesome. We've got a great room. Tanny, Eli, Kyle, all those guys. I think we've done a really good job working together, kind of moving forward together as a group, trying to help the offense move forward. So it's been awesome, and I really appreciate all their guys' help with me. Yep.
First one's under your belt. Well done, Daniel.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
Let's go back upstairs.
Sideline report brought to you by the New York Lottery. Get out there and play. Jonathan Anderson made a nice play on that 3rd down play. Catanzaro to try from 34. He's missed 2 extra points, and this one inside the right upright and good. So a little positive vibe for Catanzaro after missing 2 extra points. Coming up at halftime, we're going to go wired with Saquon Barkley.
Yeah. I ain't see one pick from you, dog. He's an awesome one, isn't he? That's what it takes for y'all to come alive. Go handle that over there. They real quiet today.
But Saquon has talked about having more of a leadership role. And listen, he said, I was a leader in college. But, you think about last year, he comes to the team. There's Eli Manning is here. You've got Odell Beckham Jr. here. A rookie does have to wait his turn, doesn't he?
Well, you wait your turn, but you do your part. And I think he led by example, and that is what earned the respect of his teammates. And then he could start to assert his personality to go along with his performance.
Saquon Barkley not playing tonight. Neither did Evan Ingram, although they went through the pregame warm-up as they would normally do. Valentine's going to take a knee here. So the Giants with 1:41 to go in the half, trailing 15-14. Get a chance to run your 2-minute offense a little bit, and Alex Tanney will remain in at quarterback. Pat Shurmur told us he wants to get all 4 in the ball game tonight.
Well, again, this is that situational football that they don't get a chance to run live in training camp. So he's at the end of the half, 2-minute drill, like you said. Let's see how they execute it against real competition.
Perkins, after the fumble, remains in. And they'll run a draw, and there's a flag that comes in late. And where that came from the umpire, that's going to be holding against the Giants.
So it's not how you start a 2-minute drill.
Holding. Offense, number 67. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
Evan Brown, second-year man out of SMU, who the Giants like as a guy who could play the guard positions.
They gave up the inside and had to grab the shoulder pad there.
Nathan Shepard made the move on him, and Evan Brown with the hold. So 1st and 20 back at the Giants 15. Tanney, T.J. Jones out across the 25, picks up 12 on the play. Giants have all 3 timeouts remaining. Perkins dropped the pass at the 30. Took a hit from Blake Cashman.
Yeah, he's got to look the ball in. He was looking to run before the ball actually got secured there. He's trying to turn and didn't have the body and didn't have the ball.
You know, Coach Shurmur said he's anxious to see John Hilliman, the rookie out of Rutgers, the free agent from St. Peter's Prep, Plainfield, New Jersey kid. Perkins might make his decision to get him in the game a little quicker.
Well, yeah, you've got a whole nother half to play here, so I'm sure we'll get a chance to see someone else.
Gonna throw the deep ball. Alonzo Russell with the catch down the left sideline on a 3rd and 8. And a gain of 39.
Yeah, good release by Russell. Great separation, looking the ball all the way in. But a really good throw by Tanney.
Hey, Carl, the other thing was Derek Jones got beat on the coverage, but sometimes, you know, we talk about hand placement and everything else with other positions. Russell used his hands great. Now Reggie White Jr. with the catch on a busted coverage down the right sideline. So the kid out of Monmouth with the catch and a gain of 22.
Yeah, got a corner looking inside, and he jumps a slot when he should be on the outside.
You see the previous throw by Tanney to Alonzo Russell as he beat Jones for 39 yards. 1st and 10 at the Jets 12. Perkins cuts inside the 10. And the Giants are going to call a timeout with 47 seconds to go. Their first of 3. Got to look at Reggie White Jr., rookie out of Monmouth. So you hear the name Reggie White, and you hear Reggie White Jr.
Yeah.
He's not the son of Hall of Famer Reggie White, but his dad, Reggie, did play in the National Football League as a 6th-round pick with the San Diego Chargers in 1992 and was part of the Patriots in 1995. So he did play 4 years in the NFL. And this is a football team that's looking for guys on the back end of the roster to help the wide receivers. You got Odell Beckham Jr. traded. Sterling Shepard's got an injured thumb. Corey Coleman, who the Giants really were looking forward to, tears his ACL, and Golden Tate's facing a 4-game ban.
Sorry, and this is a team that can't afford to get off to a slow start by playing 2 division games in the first 4. They're going to need contributions.
2nd and 6 at the 8. Tanney underneath to Jones, and the Jets did not let him get in the end zone. Doug Middleton with a nice short tackle. holding it to a gain of 3, and the Giants will use their second timeout. For those in the playoff bubble, it's make or break time. Only 4 races to go in the regular season. The countdown continues at Michigan. Tune in Sunday at 3 Eastern on NBC SN. So when Alex Tandy's had a little time, the veteran backup has done a pretty nice job. In a regular season game, he's attempted 14 passes in his career. That was with Tennessee in 2015. He was 10 of 14 for 99 yards and a touchdown.
He's doing a good job here at the end of the half, getting them down the field.
3rd and 3 from the Jets 5. Just overshoots Alonzo Russell trying that little corner route.
Yeah, that's the pylon throw. They either put little nets up there in practice and have them practice dropping it in there, or just dropping it right at a trash can in the corner of the end zone.
And Alonzo Russell 6'4", 218. So he's got nice size for the jump ball. The Giants are going to attempt an Aldrich Rosas 23-yard field goal here with 36 seconds to go in the half to regain the lead. Rosas's kick is good. Nice shot by Riley Dixon to get the snap down. And Rosas, who was a Pro Bowler last year, connects from 23. But a nice little drive there by the Giants, Carl, running the 2-minute offense and hitting a couple big plays over the top.
And that's what they're looking for as coaches, is how we've run this. We've gone over a few things, end of half situations. Let's see how we can get the ball down the field. And then having the penalty set you back another 10 yards is also a plus in terms of working yourself out of trouble and getting yourself in position to score.
And you also had the drop pass by Perkins.
Yeah.
Carl, you know, one of the things is we look out here at MetLife Stadium, with this being the first preseason game, and of course in this part of the world, the New York metropolitan area, school doesn't start until after Labor Day. People tend to go on vacation this time of year. It's a pretty nice crowd, and considering we had a 1-hour delay for thunder and lightning,
they came back in mass.
I'm surprised. Fans excited for the start of the 2019 season. Trenton Cannon on the return for the Jets. Cannon, as a flag flies, gets across the 30, and then a few more come flying out. Aldrich Rosas finally came in and delivered a hit. Now, Rosas isn't small. He's 6'3", 233 pounds.
But I'll tell you who's in the middle of the action. We won't see it here on the replay, but in the middle of the action getting held was Connolly.
So multiple flags on the Jets on that return. But Ryan Connolly, the 5th-round pick out of Wisconsin.
He is, I tell you what,
debut.
He is going to catch the eye of his coaches because he's just flying around. And he's involved in so many plays. Even if he's not making the tackle, he's somehow impacting a play.
And you know, he comes from some interesting bloodlines. His cousin.
There are 2 fouls against the return team. Holding, return team number 83, that penalty's declined. Personal foul, illegal double team block, receiving team number 85. That penalty's half the distance to the goal line. First down, New York Jets.
Ryan Griffin called for the double team block. Ryan Connolly, who played his college ball at Wisconsin, his cousin is the captain of the New York Islanders, Andres Lee.
Well, it tells you it's in the bloodline, contact sports. He's an active guy. He catches your eye right away. And you look at some of his college film, and I'm obviously a Big Ten guy. He's always in a play. He's just making plays all over the field.
Not only is Lee the captain of the Islanders, but Lee has a football background as well. He was Mr. Minnesota as a high school football player.
Wow.
Trevor Siemian remains in at quarterback. Jets will start 1st and 10 from their own 13 with 25 seconds to go here in the half. McGuire out of the backfield, and Connolly makes another tackle after a gain of 9.
Connolly's a high volume tackler. He'll finish the game in double digits.
Tell you what, if you're the Jets right now, you've got to like your situation at quarterback, right? Sam Darnold, obviously, he's the guy. But, you know, you have a guy like Trevor Siemian, who spent 3 years in Denver, started a bunch of games in his career. He's 13-11 as a starting quarterback. It's a nice guy to have as a backup in a pinch or in the middle of a game. If you got to bring him in, you know it's a guy that can function.
Well, that's the key, because he's played in some real games.
2nd and 1. Siemian, plenty of time. Deep ball is high, and it's knocked away by Julian Love.
Good job, good position there by Love. Good break on the football. They talk about his spatial awareness. He sees it, gets his hips around, gets involved in the play.
Carl, that's what you and David Deere were talking about with Darnold in the first half and Daniel Jones' ball placement. You know, if that's a better thrown to the outside, maybe Love can't make that play.
Correct. It'll be one of those just missed type of deals.
3rd and 1 for the Jets with 13 seconds to go here in the first half. Giants lead it 17-15. Jets are going to run it. McGuire's got the first down and then steps out of bounds at the 29-yard line, stopping the clock with 7 seconds to go. Gain of 8.
Corey Ballantyne came up to set the edge, but he was inside out. They move a little faster at the pro level than they do in college. He was in good position until he wasn't.
You know, and the Giants really have done no hitting so far in training camp.
Well, none of these teams do it anymore.
So really, I mean, this is the first time you're really tackling anybody since you last played a college game or your last game last season.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Siemian buys himself some time, and he'll just take it to the sideline and step out of bounds at the 36. And that's the end of the first half.
This is the end of the first half.
Giants get the ball to start the third. Entertaining first half. Giants lead it 17-15.
Saquon can't be caught, but he can be wired. And he's wired the right way on and off the football field. Hard to believe he's just 22 and one of 3 rookies in NFL history to amass 2,000 yards from scrimmage in his first season. Crazy night here at MetLife Stadium. 1 hour weather delay. Let's go back upstairs to Bob Papa and Carl Banks.
Well, thank you very much, Bruce Beck. Saquon having a little fun right now with Golden Tate. It's a 5-minute halftime. The league, at their discretion, when you have a weather delay, especially in the preseason, can determine how you're going to handle it. And the teams didn't go back to the locker room. They just stayed out and they gave them a 5-minute break. We start the third quarter. T.J. Jones out across the 25. Tripped up the 27-yard line. And that's where the Giants will start 1st and 10 as we send it down to Howard Cross, brought to you by the New York Lottery. Get out there and play. Howard?
Hey, guys, you know, we were watching those rookies from the defense. Some of them did some good jobs. Big Lawrence was in there moving the pile. I like that a lot. But the guy we didn't talk about was Connolly, and he seems to be the guy that's making all the plays. Like I told every kid, run to the ball. Always be in a camera shot, and the good things that happen.
We start the third quarter. Alex Tanney remains in at quarterback. Rod Smith, little hesitation move, picks up about 4 yards. Rod Smith broke into the league with Seattle 2015. Played in 16 games with the Cowboys last year. A couple of years ago, had 232 yards rushing with Dallas. Had a big 81-yard touchdown catch against the Giants to seal a game for the Cowboys. Here at MetLife Stadium. A lot of size, 6'3", 236. Pat Shurmur told us today he's intrigued by what he can bring to the table. 2nd and 6. Not much room for Smith there. We'll take a look at the Giants running back room, and will they keep Eli Penny, who he said Coach Shermer said, I'm not adverse to keeping a fullback, but could Rod Smith kind of give you a little of both? Penny also ran the ball a little bit last year.
Penny caught the ball tonight as well, outside detached from the formation. So they're going to have to show some versatility. That's the one thing that Coach Shermer talked about last year in his reasoning for keeping X amount of tight ends and fullbacks.
3rd and 5 for Tanny. He's got the first down to Garrett Dickerson from Englewood, New Jersey, by way of Bergen Catholic High School. Practice squad player last year for the Giants. Appeared in 4 games, didn't have a catch. Picks up 8 there.
Good job looking the ball into his hands.
Giants have hit on 4 of 7 of their 3rd downs. Opening possession of the 3rd quarter. Giants with a 17-15 lead. Tanny to throw again. Over the head of Alonzo Russell. Russell had a 39-yarder near the end of the first half to set up the Giants' go-ahead field goal. Well, new defensive coordinator for the Jets with the hiring of Adam Gase. Greg Williams. 5-3 as the interim head coach of the Browns last season. Head coach in Buffalo. Obviously spent time in New Orleans and a bunch of other places, but he's going to bring an attitude to this Jets defense.
Well, that's what you're hearing right away, that he has changed the tempo of how they play.
2nd and 10. Tanny completes it to TJ Jones. Jones a yard short of the first down. We take a look at the stops. Spent a lot of time with Jeff Fisher, with Houston, and then Tennessee. Of course, won a Super Bowl with the New Orleans Saints. In Jacksonville, Washington, now with the New York Jets. Well-traveled, brings a lot of experience to the table.
He does, and a lot of success as a defensive play caller.
3rd and 1. Tanny's looking. Oh, he had Russell downfield, but he didn't throw it. Well, Russell keeps finding a way to get open. Tanny gets the first down and picks up 4.
Yeah, there's Russell behind the defense there. He's behind the safety. He just lobs that one in. It's a touchdown. He thought about it, and he says, let me get the first down. Well, he's probably going to hear about that one in the team meeting.
But the good news, here, Russell keeps finding ways to get open.
Yeah.
Alex Wesley in at wide receiver for the Giants. 1st and 10 from the Jet 47. Smith chugs into the line and then gets turned down. Kadukasi from Far Rockaway, New York, has been active tonight for the Jets.
Looking at Tanny's numbers, he's having a pretty good night. 12 for 17.
Second and 9 for the Giants here in the 3rd quarter. We had a 1-hour weather delay. Sam Darnold, 1 series, was excellent. Daniel Jones in his first series, perfect, 5 for 5. Each throwing a touchdown pass. Giants try running it inside. And Carl, we're talking about the depth of the offensive line, and they're using a lot of different guys to mix and match here. They want to find out who their swing tackles and guards are going to be. Spencer Pulley, who's in at center right now, was very helpful for the Giants last year. He can play guard, but trying to figure out with Evan Brown, Nick Gates, who can play tackle, who can be versatile, because remember, they're scouring not just their own team, but 31 teams.
Exactly, and they've got to find some help on the outside. Inside, they don't lack guards.
Jets bring some pressure on a 3rd and 9. Tanny completes it to C.J. Conrad, the rookie out of Kentucky, but cut down short of the first down. Frankie Louvu on the hit.
The coach talked about run it plays, meaning they're just going to run certain plays no matter what the defense is. And I'd say the 1st and 2nd down, the Jets had 9 guys at the line of scrimmage, single high safety. I'm sure if he wanted to audible out of that, he'd have gotten someone down the field, but he has run it plays. He wants to see how his offensive line are blocking versus 7-man, 8-man, 9-man fronts.
Rookie Ryan Anderson out of Rutgers in the punt. Tabor Pepper in at long snapper.
Did it delay a game or no?
Delay a game.
Yep.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Anderson averaged 44 yards a punt while at Rutgers. Obviously, Riley Dixon had a pretty good year last year for the Giants. But, as we've seen many times in the past, auditioning for another team that needs a punter.
Yes.
Spiraling kick. Didn't use the 5-yard delay game penalty to his advantage. Goes into the end zone for a touchback. 9:36 to go in the third. Giants in front of the Jets, 17-15. This copyright announcement was brought to you by the law firm of McCarter & English LLP, providing legal service to the New York Giants for more than 25 years. From tech startups to Fortune 100 companies, McCarter is the counsel of choice for leaders in the global marketplace. Find them online at mccarter.com. Turned into a gorgeous night here in the New York metropolitan area. We had a 1-hour thunder and lightning storm, which delayed this game. Davis Webb, the former Giant, in at quarterback now for the Jets. Third quarterback used. Cannon takes the handoff and picks up a couple on the play. Jonathan Anderson on the tackle. Here's some new faces brought to you by Van Heusen. Kevin Zeitler acquired by the Giants in the trade of Olivier Vernon. Mike Remmers signed in the offseason. Remmers well versed in the offense of Pat Shurmur, having played for him in Minnesota and spent time in Carolina when Dave Gettleman was the GM there.
Yeah, and he played at a high level too in Minnesota, so that's the type of experience you need on your offensive line when you're running this type of offense. And he's a guy, along with Zeitler, who will give a synergy to the run game. And as David Dill said, they work well together. They understand, they've seen a lot.
Jets offensive line, Eric Smith at left tackle, Ben Braden at left guard. John Toth is at center. Tom Compton, the veteran, at right guard. Chuma Edoga is at the right tackle position. Davis Webb, a third-round pick of the Giants in 2017. Never played a regular season game. He's got a big arm. He's going to try one up top, and that pass knocked away. Incomplete by Corey Ballant, intended for Tim White.
Excellent coverage all the way through. Looked like a double move there. He goes with it all the way from the line of scrimmage. Plays good body position. Keeps one hand in the body. Uses the offhand to knock the ball away. That's good play.
So I wonder during the regular season, if it was in a big spot, if Adam Gase would have thrown the challenge flag right there, because it looked like Corey Ballantyne pretty much had the arm and wrist of Tim White held.
Well, if they continue to call those types of plays, there would be no defense played.
Well, and let's see. He has thrown the challenge flag.
You know, there's hand fighting all the way.
Oh, I mean, he grabbed him. That's why they have this new rule.
New York Jets are challenging the ruling of the play, asserting that there was defensive pass interference.
You know, you can replay
it. You're going to assert it, and you're going to get it.
Yeah.
We're going to take a timeout and find out what the result is as part of the new rule of replay. Giants preseason football on NBC4 New York, brought to you by Kia. Hurry into Kia's summer sales event going on now. Learn more at KiaDealers.com. Well, expanded replay as instituted by the competition committee. And watch Corey Ballantyne. He grabs the wrist of Tim White.
Of course he does.
Impedes his progress. Holds onto it, regrips, then knocks the ball away. Adam Gase challenges it. It's a 33-yard penalty on a 3rd and 8. First down, Jets.
The unintended consequences of the NFC Championship game.
Cannon on the catch, Stupar on the tackle, gain of 4.
It's almost careful what you ask for, because you're going to get more than you.
But Carl, I'll ask you something. That was clearly a foul.
Sure.
On a 3rd and 8, that would have kept the drive alive.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that getting overturned.
No. If you catch it, you call it. Every cornerback will tell you that. But when they're hand fighting all the way down the field, and this is a blatant one, but when the corners and wide receivers are hand fighting all the way down the field, there's always some jersey pulling and some tussling, and they try to get away with what they can.
Number 47, 10-yard penalty, replay 2nd down.
But it's an offensive league.
The rookie Wesco called for the hold. We're going to take a look at it again. There's really...
And you got to teach them different. From this angle, do you see anybody holding? The official didn't see it either. That was the genius of great cornerback play in the league, is to be able to get away with little things that the referees or the coaches couldn't see. And mostly the officials in the old days, they couldn't see it. And that was the genius of how to play cornerback. You ask any of the good ones, they'll tell you, I found a way to tug a guy's jersey around the waist. The officials don't look for that, or I can grab his hand or swat his hand away. Well, those days are over. Now it's almost you're basically playing with one hand behind your back because you can't touch him. Or you can't, well, I'll say it in a defense, you can't cheat.
John Jenkins just made the last tackle on Cannon. It'll be interesting, though, to see at the end of the play if there's a hold or a pass interference. But if in the frame you see where the offensive player first pushed off to create separation, how that's going to be officiated.
The defender,
Webb to throw it here, in cut, high and incomplete, intended for Tim White.
The defender would have to sell it at the risk of giving up a big play, you know, because they don't necessarily call it unless it's really blatant on the offense. So if you're going to sell it and they don't call it, you just gave up a big play.
But what happens if you give up a big play, and now on replay, because the cameras in the high def are so good, you see at the last second that the receiver used his arm to create separation? You're going to throw that challenge
Good
flag?
luck with that one. It'll take about 2 of those not to get reversed before coaches keep the flags in their pockets.
Matt Darr to punt it. TJ Jones signals for a fair catch at the 11-yard line. All right, this one was cut and dry with the new rule. But good luck during the season when it gets a lot tighter. Al Riveron back in New York. Daniel Jones had a pretty good night. It's time for our rookie spotlight presented by Kia. And Carl Banks, he was perfect. It's Cody Latimer. And then look at the ball placement right here to Benny Fowler.
Yeah, those are the things you look for early on. And obviously, there wasn't a lot of pressure there. That means the offensive line did a good job, and he did a good job executing his part of the play.
3 first-round draft picks, all chatting it up on the sidelines. Daniel Jones 5 for 5, 67 yards and a touchdown. Tanny tosses it to Smith. Not a lot of running room. Gain of about a yard as we send it down to Bruce Beck.
Hey, Bob, Jabril Peppers is back home. East Orange, New Jersey native, played at Paramus Catholic, played at Don Bosco.
Yes,
what is it like to be back in this building?
Oh, man, it feels good. You know, I have a lot of fond memories here. Made a lot of great plays. I'm just here to build on it.
How did this defense do in your mind for the time that you were out there?
We did fine. Flew to the ball a lot. You know, we stopped the run game, but we gave up a couple chunk plays due to our miscommunication, so we just can't shoot ourselves in the foot. But other than that, I think we got the job done.
You know, there was a lot of talk about maybe Peppers going to offense when the stuff went down with Tate and with Shepard's injury. Did you ever think that they were going to call your number to play a little offense?
Not really. Not realistically. You know, I hinted at it, made a lot of jokes about it, but, you know, this is the league. You know, we have more than enough guys qualified to, you know, make plays on that side of the ball. But, you know, it was just all fun and games. But in all seriousness, I would do it if they do need me to.
I know you will. What about the secondary? How do you expect it to come around? Do you think there's talent back there?
Absolutely. You know, we have veteran guys combined with a lot of young and hungry, talented guys. You know, combined with a strong linebacker core and a strong front core up front. So it's definitely looking on the up and up, man. We just got to put it all together.
Jabril Peppers is back in the Garden State.
Yes, sir.
I know it feels good, right?
Definitely does.
Okay.
The air just tastes better, everything.
Well, we got some storms tonight, but still, it was fun. It was fun to see you back out there.
Absolutely.
Have a good season, my friend.
I appreciate it.
Okay, Bob and Carl, take it away.
Well, Jabril Peppers, as a senior, led Paramus Catholic to the state championship right here in MetLife Stadium, beating my alma mater, Berkeley Catholic.
There you go. Now, he's talking about offense. Now, tomorrow is a cruel joke the receivers coach could call him in the office and say, hey, we were just about to consider putting you in at wide receiver until we saw you drop that interception.
The interview is brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. With Dunkin's Go-Tos, you can get a great deal on 2 of your favorite $2, $4, and $5. On a 3rd and 12, Tanny throws it over the middle, but well short of the sticks. Gain of 5. Paul Perkins on the catch. America runs on Dunkin'. Participation may vary. Limited time offer. Exclusions apply. You know, Sterling Shepard has been running around with the yellow jersey on. He's got that thumb injury, but every so often he can't help himself. He wants
to catch a football.
Passes.
Yeah.
Times they've thrown him some tennis balls. He's anxious to get back.
Running all the routes so that he doesn't get out of shape. They just don't throw him the football.
Anderson with the punt for the Giants. Dortch to the near sideline. Makes a couple miss into Giant territory, and finally Chandler pulls him out of bounds. 50-yard punt, but a 32-yard return for the rookie from Wake Forest. Giants with the lead here in the 3rd. To enter the Giants Fantennial Weekend Sweepstakes for a chance to win a VIP experience at the Giants home opener against the Bills on September the 15th. 2 mezzanine club tickets, 2 pregame field passes, 1 VIP parking pass, a $100 MetLife Stadium gift card. Visit Giants.com/Fantix to enter. And for all sweepstakes rules and details, that's Giants.com/FANTIX. Be Giant legends on hand you get a chance to meet. Fun experience. Jets will start at the Giant 35. Davis Webb in for his 2nd series. Webb has passed, tipped at the line, and incomplete. Well, Giants head coach Pat Shurmur said, I want our guys to get used to the routine. Evan Ingram not playing in the game tonight, but went through all the pregame warm-ups. Now, Sterling Shepard a little different. He's got that left thumb injury. Still making a one-handed catch. And Saquon Barkley says, I'm ready to go whenever you want, coach. You got to think that Saquon will probably get a couple of carries in the preseason, don't you think?
Maybe 1 or 2. I can't imagine him getting a lot of work in the preseason. He's getting it all in practice and working it out, the timing with his offensive line.
Webb's pass batted and intercepted. There's a flag on the play, but it was tipped and returned for a touchdown by Jake Carlock, the rookie from Long Island, from Babylon High School, with the tip ball and the pick 6.
Illegal use of hands to the face, offense. Number 65, that penalty's declined. Result of the play is a touchdown.
How about that from Carlock from LIU? Pretty good awareness, Carl.
Yeah, it really was, and he showed the motor once he got it.
It's the number. It's the number. That's the number that Alec Ogletree wore last year when he had 5 interceptions and he returned for 2 for touchdowns. He switches to 47 this week. Carlock takes the number, and guess what? He gets a pick 6.
Alec Ogletree going to be saying, hey, I may need that number back.
59-yard return for a touchdown. So for number 52 in blue, counting last regular season, that's 3 interception returns for touchdowns for a linebacker. Extra point is good by Rosas, and the Giants' lead is now 24-15. If you can't get there, right, get your hand up at the passing lane.
Now, keep in mind, he's a converted safety. They got him on the edge as an edge rusher, but he's a converted safety, so this is his first time with his hand in the dirt.
Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
Played his high school ball at Babylon High School. Local kid. It seems as if the Giants, under this new regime, Carl, have a lot more local kids, or are giving some guys from local schools a shot.
You know, it's so interesting. You do see a lot of New Jersey and New York on the roster. I was making note of that, and I looked at it, I'm like, it's about 6 or 8 names on here from the area.
The Giants get a defensive touchdown. Lead is now 24-15 here in the third. Rosas with the kickoff. And Deontay Thompson will take a knee in the end zone. Well, this is the 100th season of the NFL. Kicks off Thursday, September the 5th. Most storied rivalry, the Packers and the Bears. Then Sunday Night Football, the Super Bowl champion Patriots hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers on September the 8th. The premiere of Sunday Night Football, only on NBC.
You know, you got the situation in Green Bay where you got a first-time coach and a quarterback who's not afraid to speak his mind on things he doesn't like. That should be an interesting storyline as things play out, because as rookie coaches, you're going to hit a few bumps in the road, and then we're going to see exactly what the dynamic of that relationship is going to be like with LaFleur and A-Rod.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting, and, you know.
I mean, those in the media now, the critics, are already creating storylines. Any little thing that they don't agree on, it seems like they're trying to drive the wedge already.
It'll be interesting to see with the Bears, with Mitch Trubisky, can he take that next step as a quarterback and sort of back up, because they had a bunch of defensive scores last year. I think 6 defenses. Can't really hang your hat on scoring that many points defensively.
Well, no, you can't. But what you can do is continue to work to surround Trubisky with the talent for his skill set, and continue to rely on your defense to make plays, to create field position situations.
Giants are going to take on the Bears next Friday night here at MetLife Stadium on NBC4 New York, and then the Giants will play the Bears in the regular season. Nice play by Sean Chandler on Cannon with an open field tackle there. 3 minutes to go in the third. Giants up 24-15. On a 2nd and 3, Webb gives it to Cannon, and that's just a gain of a yard, and Julian Love with the tackle. Here's the rest of our schedule. It's the Bears coming into MetLife Stadium Friday the 16th. Then here on NBC4 New York, we'll head to Cincinnati on the 22nd as the Giants play the Bengals, and then wrap up the preseason in New England. Cincinnati is the only team on the Giants schedule in the preseason that they do not play in the regular season. Davis Webb, 3rd round pick of the Giants in 2017. 3rd quarterback used by the Jets, was on their practice squad last year. Facing a 3rd and 2. For White, Ballantyne with the interception. That time he didn't need to interfere.
And
he's being ruled down by contact at the 21.
This is a continuation of what folks have been talking about, and those who have been at camp have been seeing. This kid competes. He's fundamentally sound. Comes from a small college, but you never guess it because he's well coached. You can see, gets his head around, plays the ball at the high point. This is what he's been doing. They may call this one back too, Bob. He touched his hand, you know. But he plays perfect position there. I mean, he's a long cornerback with good athleticism.
Davis Webb with his 2nd interception in as many series. We'll take a look at it again. Ballantyne grabbed his hand. All right, so
touched his hand. Yeah.
So if you're Adam Gase, do you throw the challenge flag again?
Hey, listen, if they overturn all of these types of plays, they might as well get rid of the position.
Kyle Lauletta is the 4th quarterback used by the Giants. James O'Hagan is in at center. Lauletta to throw on 1st down. Nice catch by Reggie White Jr. Picks up a 1st down. There is a flag on the play. I think it's going to be defensive holding on the Jets. Gain of 17.
Yeah.
Prior to the pass, holding defense, number 35. That penalty's declined. Yardage gain is enough for a 1st down.
They beat Tavon Campbell, who also got called for the penalty.
Yeah, Tavon Campbell held him, pushed him in the face mask. He had about 3 fouls on that play.
John Hilleman is in at running back. He's the rookie free agent out of Rutgers from Plainfield, New Jersey. St. Peter's prep kid.
908.
We get a whistle and a flag and a false start against the Giants.
False start. Offense, number 89. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Garrett Dickerson called for the penalty.
Now you look at how the quarterback position is stacked up here with the Giants. Valletta may be auditioning for another team because you've got your first rounder. He's on the roster. Alex Tanney is the trusted veteran, and then Valletta. So he may be auditioning for another team.
Valletta
only go with 3 quarterbacks.
4th-round pick last year. Going to throw it on a 1st and 15. Has to run. And gets it out to the 35-yard line. John Hilleman trying to throw his hat into the ring. Rookie out of Rutgers. And he was a guy that came out of St. Peter's Prep in Jersey City. He was a short yard goal line specialist for Rutgers. However, Carl, he's got the ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. So that'll be interesting to see if at some point they use him in this series to catch the football and get him in space.
Sure, and that seems to be a prerequisite for Pat Shermer's offense. He wants backs who can do more than one thing.
2nd and 12 for the Giants. Valletta with tight window gets it to C.J. Conrad to the 40-yard line. Gain of 4 on the play. Well, we had a 1-hour weather delay in the first quarter. Golden Tate says we got to make it 4 quarters. Past Super Bowl champion Sterling Shepard wants to get that thumb, like the pinstripe cap.
This is the end.
Giants with the lead after 3 here at MetLife Stadium. Giants preseason football on NBC4 New York is driven by the Hess Toy Truck. The 2019 holiday Hess Toy Truck goes on sale November the 1st exclusively at HessToyTruck.com. Also brought to you by Bob's Discount Furniture. It's not discount furniture, it's stylish quality furniture at a discount. Bob's Discount. Kyle Valletta, the 4th quarterback used by the Giants tonight. Giants with a 24-15 lead over the Jets. Sam Darnold, outstanding 1 series, leading the Jets to a touchdown. Daniel Jones, 5 for 5 perfect on his 1 series, leading the Giants to a touchdown. Giants have a defensive score in this game as well. Start the 4th quarter, 3rd and 8 for the Giants from their own 40-yard line. Alex Wesley, man that goes in motion, wide receiver for the Giants. Valletta with some time, but the pass incomplete, intended for Damari Scott. Let's send it down the sideline and Bruce back.
And I'm with Quincy Enunwa. He had 1 series with the Jets tonight, and they went in for a touchdown. Quincy, what did you think of Sam Darnold in that drive?
Impressive. You know, he was able to escape pressure, make big plays. You know, it was a great series for us. He really showed command of the pocket, command of the offense. So, you know, it's really encouraging for the rest of the season.
What is it like in training camp with Le'Veon Bell on the scene?
It's been good. You know, he's been making some plays in training camp, really taking a good grasp of the offense. So, you know, we're just looking forward to him being on the field with us.
A new coach, Adam Gase, a new energy, a new system. How have you reacted to it? How has the team responded?
We've been good. I think that everybody's really accepted it, really bought in. And I think that we're all excited just to kind of show what we can do.
And for Quincy, this is about staying healthy for you, isn't it, this year?
Yeah, it's about making plays, you know, just going out there and doing what I can do.
Wish you the best of luck, my friend.
Thank you.
All right, back upstairs to Bob and Carl.
And Quincy Enunwa missed all of 2017 with a neck injury. 2016 had 857 yards receiving. 5th-year pro out of Nebraska, a staple on the opening drive on Sirius XM NFL Radio. He's always one of our Jets guests. What a really class guy.
Class guy, very talented guy, and help has been his only holdback.
The Jets have their 4th quarterback in the game. Davis Webb threw 2 interceptions tonight. Luke Falk is in, 2nd-year player out of Washington State, acquired via waivers from Miami, a former 6th-round draft pick last year of Tennessee. Was inactive for the first 4 games last year and then placed on injured reserve. Tough night, though, for Davis Webb, the former Giant draft pick. Adam Gase, of course, had Luke Falk in Miami, so he knows him. Holmes on the handoff. Valentine Holmes, an Australian rugby football player. Take a look at tonight's stats through the third quarter, brought to you by Bob's Discount Furniture. The Giants 281 yards in the passing game, 322 in total. 8 penalties for 101 is a number that Pat Shurmur is not going to like. And the Jets with 2 turnovers to the Giants 1. See R.J. McIntosh, former 5th-round pick of the Giants last year, in the ball game. 3rd and 9. Go a little check down to McGuire. Shoved out of bounds short of the first down. There's a flag on the play in the vicinity of offensive holding.
Let's see what they call.
Nate Stupar had missed that tackle in the open field.
Holding, offense number 65. That penalty's declined. Brings up 4th down.
Boy, both teams number 65 on the offensive line. Nick Gates for the Giants and Eric Smith for the Jets have been flagged a few times tonight.
Yeah, and Gates for the Giants have got to stretch himself because they know he can play guard. They're giving him an opportunity to show versatility, and he struggled a little bit tonight, but to be expected. We'll see what next week brings.
Matt Darr punts the football away. T.J. Jones ranges to the sideline, and it carries him out of bounds at the 14-yard line after a 53-yard punt. Giants in front with the ball here in the 4th at MetLife Stadium. Network is your in-season home for the New York Giants. Giants 1st and 10 presented by Stop and Shop premieres Friday, September the 6th as we get you ready for the Giants and Cowboys. Giants Chronicles on Saturday, September the 7th. And then Giants Post-Game Live presented by Mercedes-Benz following the Giants and Cowboys in Dallas. And all season long on MSG Network. Wayne Gallman, Lorenzo Carter checking things out. Giants with a 24-15 lead here in the 4th quarter. Kyle Lauletta, 4th quarterback used by the Giants. Giants have a defensive score. Hillman takes the handoff. Flag on the play as he turns to the outside and gets shouldered out of bounds.
And that flag's going to be somewhere where he turned the corner there, probably on the tight end.
Holding, offense number 64. Plays half the distance to the goal line. Replay 1st down.
Victor Sulaco, who was on the practice squad last year, he gets called for the hold.
Yep. There he is right there. His guy beat him. He holds him.
Nice job by Trevor Sanders, the rookie free agent out of Troy, to get the inside position for the Jets.
As the crowd shouts Reggie.
Yeah, Reggie White, who played his college ball at Monmouth, got a bunch of fans here tonight. Lauletta, Hillman, there's that pass catching ability. He gets it out to the 20-yard line. So he picks up 13 on the play. Well, there's so much is made about the overtime rules and how the NFL has massaged them over the years.
Sure.
As we take a look at Hillman with this catch. Spent 3 years at Boston College. Finished it up at Rutgers. I'll get to that thought in a second. 2nd and 3 here in the 4th quarter with the Giants up 24-15. Lauletta. And his wide receiver, Damari Scott, not on the same page.
Yeah, a lot of communications issues there. On the bottom of your screen, you had the 2 receivers that gave the cut sign as if the play had changed, and on top of the receiver, top receiver did not seem to get that signal.
Based on the look of Pat Shurmur as Damari Scott, the first-year free agent at Fresno State, jogged back to the huddle, I'm guessing he's the guy that missed the read.
Yeah.
3rd and 3. The Giants 21. Well, Scott makes amends for that. Makes the catch and picks up the 1st down. Gain of 9. Move the chains with 11:40 to go here in the ball game.
Yeah, good job there by the offensive line picking up the blitz. brought the 2 inside linebackers. The Jets did.
So the Giants get a fresh set of downs. James O'Hagan from Seaford High School in New York is the center for the Giants. Third center used tonight. On a 1st and 10, Loletta gets it to Hillman again. Nice open field tackle there by Montrell Meander. Well, I mentioned the overtime rules have continually changed. For those fans out there, 1974 was the first year that overtime was instituted. And on November the 10th, 1974, 8 minutes to go, Giants up 20-13, but the Jets with a comeback win. Joe Namath hobbling into the end zone for the touchdown and a 26-20 win. He didn't audibilize or anything. Joe Namath obviously deluding the Jets that Super Bowl III, and he didn't tell anybody what he was going to do. And
yeah, well,
those knee brace on, because he was a great runner when he first went to Alabama.
Yeah, he was at that point. If he told anybody, they probably would have talked him out of it. That's why no one was expecting him to run that.
You know, we're talking about John Hilleman trying to make this football team, and he took a shot right in that knee area from Montrell Meander, who did not meander in there. Hilleman is down and shaken up and right on the side of the knee. You don't want to see that.
Yeah, well, good news, the knee wasn't planted, so he's walking it off. It's always good to see.
Director of Medical Services, Ronnie Barnes, and escort him back to the locker room. They'll check him out further. So Paul Perkins comes back in the ball game. 2nd and 8 for the Giants from their own 32. Loletta under immediate pressure, and he's going to get sacked by Meander.
Not sure what that was supposed to be. If it was a read option, no, he hands the ball off, and the defender was right there.
Montrell Meander signed off waivers from the Oakland Raiders. Played his college ball at Grambling State. So 3rd and 11. Approaching 10 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter. Preseason opener for the Giants and Jets here at MetLife Stadium. First time since 2010 they've opened the preseason against each other. They did it that year because it was the first game ever in MetLife Stadium. Jets bring some heat. Loletta picks it up and hits Wesley for the first down. And that's a gain of 18 and a first down.
Yeah, good job by the offensive line here. They had a blitzer late. Paul Perkins helped out.
Sulaco, number 64, did a nice job too. And then Alex Wesley, in 42 games at Northern Colorado, had 156 catches for 2,700 yards and 17 touchdowns. Can he assert himself? Giants are anxious to see Darius Slayton, their 5th-round draft pick out of Auburn. He's been nagged by some hamstring injuries.
Yeah, he was a guy that was great anticipation coming out of OTAs.
Reggie White Jr. on the end cuts, got a first down. Nice zip on the ball there by Loletta to the Jet 34.
Doesn't help to have your own cheering section when you make a play. The coaches hear it too.
You know, he was asked, because he played his college ball at Monmouth, so it's here in New Jersey, when he got assigned number 13. I mean, Odell Beckham Jr.'s number. And he's like, look, I get it. He goes, I'm just happy that I have an NFL uniform. And I'm going to make the best of it.
There you go. Tonight he is.
Makes another catch. Picks up about 4 or 5.
Racking them up.
Giants fans, feel the pride and experience the excitement of New York Giants football. Limited season tickets still available. Call 888-NYG-1925 or go to Giants.com for more information. So a lot more of those 26 jerseys popping up. Reggie White Jr. 4 catches for 60 yards. 2nd and 7. at the Jets 31. Valletta can't find Wesley. Made a nice move, Carl, to break out.
Yeah, just overthrow it.
You know, we talked a little bit about the Jets too defensively. As we take a look one more time at Wesley, and had his man beat, just the timing off with the quarterback. You know, the Jets have some talented defensive players. Leonard Williams, Quinnen Williams, who a lot of people felt was the best player in the draft. Greg Williams, and then Jamal Adams. I mean, you were teammates with his dad, George, who was a running back for the Giants, coming off his first Pro Bowl season. We didn't see C.J. Mosley, their big free agent signee. They got some weapons. Valletta is going to go up top into the end zone, and it's caught for the touchdown by T.J. Jones. Wow, what a catch by Jones.
Well, it looks like it was behind him, and he caught it in between the two defenders.
He was working on D. Delaney.
A little out and up. Ball's back shoulder. Threw it to his back shoulder. He was able to get around and get it.
Jones was expecting it over the top. Valletta threw it to the back shoulder. T.J. Jones with the touchdown catch on a 3rd and 7, capping off an 86-yard drive.
Good ball placement there.
And the Giant lead is now 30-15 with the extra point pending. Rosas on for the extra point. And knocks it through. T.J. Jones signed this summer, contributing, and the Giant lead is now 16. A lot that have made this transition from the Giants to the Jets. Don Maynard actually started his career with the Giants, the great Jet receiver, winning Super Bowl III with the Jets. Pepper Johnson, Jumbo Elliott, of course, Bill Parcells taking the Jets to the AFC Championship game in 1998. In fact, they led the Broncos 10-0 at the halftime of that game. Of course, Parcells leading the Giants to 2 Super Bowls, but you got Raul Allegre, Perry Williams. There was that time, Carl,
Leonard Marshall.
After your 90s team was kind of dismantled, where everybody seemed to go over to the Jets.
Yeah, it was quite a few. That was an exodus for sure.
Jumbo was fantastic with the Jets. You remember on that Monday night game?
Incredible.
Catching the touchdown pass, throwing it to Jumbo.
Yep.
Carl Banks, no.
No, not so much. But I did work there.
You did work there for Parcells, right? Player development?
Yep, in their personnel department.
Carl Banks, part of the New York Giants Ring of Honor. Luke Falk remains in at quarterback. Dortch in motion. He's going to throw it to Holmes. Holmes makes one-man miss and then gets hammered by Kenny Ladler after a 14-yard pickup.
Good tackle there by Ladler. That'll show up on the film.
It was not a good tackle by Josiah Toafu.
No. Ladler, yes.
Go back to the same play. Why not? And Holmes has a first down across midfield. Well, let's take a look at the Jets' first 4 regular season games, a couple home games. Big division game against the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen, the quarterback. Bills have made a lot of great offseason moves. Obviously, the Cleveland Browns with Odell Beckham Jr. there and Baker Mayfield going into his 2nd year. And then a trip up to New England to take on the defending Super Bowl champion Patriots. And then a really early bye.
Yeah.
Let's look at the first month for the Jets with a couple division games right out of the gate. Pass knocked away there as Ronald Samort on the deflection.
Yeah, he probably could have had an interception if he'd run right through that one. Looks like he got there in time.
B.J. Goodson, a little pressure on the quarterback. Carl, you know, he's one of those guys, B.J. Goodson, we talked about it during the weather delay. This is a guy that Started 13 of 15 games last year, and right now he's running with the group that's playing in the fourth quarter with 6 minutes to go.
Yeah, he's got to do something to distinguish himself to get back in the focus of these coaches.
Play clock was at 2, so the Jets call a timeout here in the fourth. Giants up on NBC4 New York. Giants preseason football on NBC4 New York is driven by the Hess Toy Truck. The 2019 holiday Hess Toy Truck goes on sale November the 1st exclusively at HessToyTruck.com. Back at MetLife Stadium, Giants with a 31-15 lead over the Jets. First preseason game for both teams. Luke Falk, the fourth quarterback used by the Jets. Both teams have used all 4 of their quarterbacks. Throw it underneath. Short completion on the play, and that was Greg Dortch. This interview brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts as we send it down to Bruce Beck.
Kevin Zeitler made his debut for the Giants tonight. The big offensive guard. How did you do out there?
Not too bad. You know, it's been a long time since we played real football, but, you know, it feels good to get back out there and get moving full speed.
How about this offensive line, the cohesiveness, the chemistry? It takes time, Kevin.
It definitely does. You know, good first step, getting all out there, playing 2 series. You know, I think we did some good things, but we have a long way to go.
I watched your pregame ritual. You were intense, my friend. What's that all about?
It's just how you get ready. You know, we got to get ready. We got to treat this like a real game and, you know, be as ready as we can be.
What'd you think of Daniel Jones in his debut?
He did a good job. He led that drive well. He made some clutch throws, and, you know, it'll be exciting to see him develop.
How do you think you are going to help this ball club this year?
The best thing I can do is just be the best I can be out there every play I can and, you know, get the group rallying, and we'll do what we can do.
And you and Remmers seem to be developing pretty good chemistry.
I think so. You know, we've had a lot of good work and practice together, and now getting out there tonight together, first time full speed, you know, we did some good things.
Not bad to be a New Yorker these days, right?
Not bad at all.
All right, thanks, Kevin.
Thank you.
All right, that's Kevin Zeitler. He is currently in his 8th NFL season, 103 starts. Go get him.
Thank you.
Well, Jake Carlock gets a sack after a pick 6, Carl.
Yeah, well, he's the edge guy that they want. See if he can get in there. He's pursuing the football late in the play, but he gets the sack. That's good to show up on the stat sheet.
Yeah, we got to give a little kudos there to Jake Ceresna of New Fairfield, Connecticut, number 61, because he also got in there. That interview with Kevin Zeitler brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. Go-tos. You can get a great deal on 2 of your favorite $2, $4, or $5 America runs on Dunkin'. Delayed handoff to Valentine Holmes. He takes it to the Giants' 37-yard line, picks up about 6 on the play. Interesting player, Valentine Holmes, did not play college football, signed as a free agent, an Australian rugby player. B.J. Goodson back in the ball game for the Giants. He started 20 of the 37 games he's appeared in with Big Blue. 3rd and 8. Falk underneath. McGuire has got the first down to the Giant 25-yard line. Out of Town Scores brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more. In car insurance, visit geico.com to see how much you could save. Panthers leading the Bears 16-10. Bills knock off the Colts 24-16. Falcons and Dolphins tied at 27 in the fourth, praying for no overtime. Patriots and Lions at joint practices this week. New England in front of that one, 31-3. Falk dumps it in the flat to Daniel Brown.
Got a flag by the quarterback's feet, but there are no defenders. Let's see what the call is.
Daniel Brown, a nice pickup for the Jets at the tight end position. Luke Falk saying it's on them. What do you think of the Jets' new uniforms? The Gotham green.
You know what? I actually like it. I really do. And, you know, the move to a different color, more progressive styling, I think it fits with their fan base.
Defense. number 61. It's a 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And that's Jake Seresna. Call for the penalty.
You know, on the uniforms, the Jets have a younger fan base. They're cultivating younger fans, and I think it's great. I love the colors, and I'm in the business, so you know, anything new is always great, and I think they did a good job with the design of it.
Some Jet fans remaining here tonight, and kudos to all the fans that came out tonight, considering the thunder and lightning, the 1-hour delay here at MetLife Stadium. Giants in front, 31-15. Got a defensive touchdown in the ball game. Luke Falk to McGuire, and a big hit that time by B.J. Goodson. But Sam Darnold got things going in the first quarter on the opening drive of the game. Hit Chris Herndon on a big third down play, and then throws the touchdown pass to new Jet Jamison Crowder. And then how about Daniel Jones? Cody Latimer hauls one in. Fowler with a nice catch, and then the perfect ball placement. Daniel Jones couldn't have been better in his debut. 5 for 5 and a touchdown pass.
And if you had to ask about Sam Darnold, I think he looked darn good as well. I mean, he really executed, and the thing that you like about him are the little things.
That takes us to the 2-minute warning. Giants in front, 31-15. Giants game time is Taco Bell time. Fill your Big Blue passion with a Giants Party Pack meal along with your 2019 Schedule Cup at Taco Bell today. Here at MetLife Stadium, Giants with a 31-15 lead. The 4 Giants quarterbacks tonight have combined 29 of 37 for 376 yards and 3 touchdowns. Sam Darnold played well. Trevor Siemian played well for the Jets. Davis Webb, the former Giant, 2 interceptions, including 1 return for a touchdown. 3rd and 1 at the Giants 11 for Luke Falk. Again, he finds his back, Valentin Holmes, and he's got a first down. Be Tenny Adewusi, the rookie out of Delaware from Avenel, New Jersey, played his high school ball at Columbia High School. A lot of work to do, though, with this just being the first preseason game. And, you know, I'm sure the Giants are a little disappointed with the very first offensive series. Weren't able to do much. Went 3 and out against the Jets starting defense of what was out there for it.
But it creates another baseline for which the coaches can teach. Now that they've seen them in action, now that they see how they respond and react to different situations, they can now coach those.
Luke Falk's throw a little high, and then a nice job by Kenny Ladler to push J.J. Jones out of bounds so he couldn't get his feet down. No longer a force out in the NFL. I mean, it's been gone for a while, but sometimes I hear fans talking like, oh, he forced him out. Well, it's long gone.
Yeah, long gone. Got to get him down.
2nd and 6. 2nd and goal at the 6 for the Jets. Falk under a little bit of pressure, and he's going to get sacked. Terrence Feta, the 5th-year pro out of Marist from Spring Valley, New York, and Nyack High School.
They're coming with the inside move here. Corrals him, gets him down.
Terrence Feta, the 5th-year pro, college ball at Marist. Former 7th-round pick of the Dolphins, was in camp with Buffalo last year. Giants signed him late in camp.
Showing pass rush skills. Here's again.
Falk's going to run it and get dragged down around the 5-yard line. Good thing he got down because B.J. Goodson was closing fast with under a minute to go.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to go for it here on 4th down. 3 won't do anything, so they might as well practice this situation. This is what the preseason is about. 4th and 4 on the go. You never know. 42 seconds. Coach Gase gets to test his play calling.
So 4th and goal. Falk takes the snap. Under pressure again. Flag on the play. Throws it through the back of the end zone, incomplete. I'm guessing the Jets are going to get called for a hold here.
Yeah.
Oh no, I guess it's against the Giants according to Falk. Is it hands to the face penalty again? Giants have been flagged for one of those.
Illegal use of hands, hands to the face, defense. Number 61. Penalties half the distance to the goal line. Automatic first down, New York Jets.
Jake Serezna call for the penalty. Right there, left part of your screen. Can't get the hands up. Got him in the face of Ben Braden. So the Jets get a first down with 19 seconds to go at the 2-yard line. Falk delivers it on point to Greg Dorsch, the rookie out of Wake Forest. And with 14 seconds to go, the Jets get their 3rd touchdown of the ball game.
B.J. Goodson with initially good coverage, and he allows him to get separated. Knows exactly who he has. He takes him in the flat. Separation, touchdown. You got to keep your eyes on your men when you're playing man coverage.
Greg Dortch, 12 games last year at Wake Forest, 89 catches, over 1,000 yards, had 8 receiving touchdowns. Looks like a guy that can give them something in the return game. Now Chandler Catanzaro, who did make a field goal, but missed 2 extra points here tonight. And that one is right down Broadway with 14 seconds to go. And the Giant lead is 31-22. Every Sunday night here on NBC4 New York, it's Sports Final with Bruce Beck. This week, Bruce will have the latest on the Mets wild card chase as they take on the Nats. It's Sports Final immediately following News 4 New York. Now the Giant receivers, obviously with Golden Tate facing a suspension, Sterling Shepard injured, Corey Coleman out for the year, Benny Fowler with a touchdown catch, Corey Latimer, Reggie White Jr., T.J. Jones with a nice touchdown catch. And Carl, I was impressed with Alonzo Russell, who had a 39-yarder near the end of the half and beat his men quite a bit. Could have had a bigger night than that one for 39.
And those are the ones that show up even when the ball's not thrown to you and you're consistently finding yourself open. That shows up and tells the coaches they may have something there.
So, you know, you work on situational football, right? You can practice this stuff. Teams have special teams periods. I wonder if the Jets will try an onside kick. The Giants have their hands team up. These are just little things that you can't do live in training camp.
End of game situations.
Catanzaro is going to just set it sailing into the back of the end zone for a touchback. So the ball will come out to the 25-yard line. So your overall impressions, Carl, of what you saw out of Pat Shurmur's Giants here tonight?
Work in progress. I don't think anything blew me away outside of the way well, no, I will say yes. Something did blow me away. The offensive line and Daniel Jones in their execution. Other than that, it's still a lot of work to do. I didn't see a lot of pass rush. You saw some receivers step up, which is good. Defensively, I'm not sure, other than, you know, Ballantyne making some plays out there. They've got some work to do. You've got to see a consistent pass rush. But they are not scheming right now, so you don't expect to see a lot. It looked like football.
Kyle Lauletta takes a knee. Bragging rights game goes to the New York Giants as they beat the Jets 31-22. Of course, they're going to do it for real in November. It'll be a Jets home game here at MetLife Stadium. Coach Shurmur with a lot of respect for Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator of the Jets. Saquon Barkley didn't play tonight. Will he play in the preseason? Who knows? Will Le'Veon Bell play in the preseason for the Jets? Two of the most dynamic running backs in the National Football League, both playing here in the New York metropolitan area. Sam Darnold and Saquon Barkley sharing an embrace as well. Well, the preseason is underway. Daniel Jones was perfect. He went 5 for 5. Coming up next, it's NBC News for New York. So for Carl Banks, Bruce Beck, Howard Cross, and our entire crew, Bob Pompa saying so long from MetLife Stadium. The Giants win the preseason opener over the Jets at MetLife Stadium.